Tough game. Just, they did a good job. Credit to them of taking Trey out of the action early and really when they needed to, denying him the basketball and forcing other guys to make plays. I thought Kev and John really did a great job of stepping up. But just scrambled a lot with their denials and the two guys hitting Trey to keep him out of the action. And I thought we had a really poor in the third, start of fourth quarter stretch, which really was a separation tonight.
Okay. With that, we will get into questions. The first question coming from Sarah.
Lloyd, you mentioned end of the third to start of the fourth. What specifically can you point to that allowed
2 turnovers to start, I think, the fourth right away, or maybe at the end of the third? We started off with 2 turnovers. We let Tim Hardaway, who was hot, we went under on a screen, and he comes off and hits a 3, and then right after that, they're in the bonus, and we kind of just gave a silly foul, which put them to the free throw line. And so, that was the stretch. No shots on offense. And, a hot guy was able to keep going down that sequence.
Chris Kirshner.
When teams are trapping and face guarding Trey, what can you do to try and get him in better positions?
Yeah, I mean, we have a couple built-in counters. I think one of the times we got him on the backside and he was able to come off and get a lob to the big. We set a little pin down for him. The bottom line is he's going to have to work differently. There's going to have to require some movement from him. When they do that, there's one defender down because that guy is tracked on him. We got a couple lobs, and John got a couple lobs, and Clint got a couple lobs as a result of them not helping off of him. And so he's just got to be a guy that's willing to work. We have a couple counters that are built in, but it's going to require a tremendous amount of work, and it's going to require a tremendous amount of spacing and execution to get him the basketball on the second side. That's what I was alluding to earlier. He's got to become a really good second side player when teams are denying him. And there's a couple things that we're doing, but it's just more work. It's different work.
Anthony Patterson of the Atlanta Voice.
Hey, Coach. You alluded to basically the third and fourth quarter being the difference. And obviously, it was because they were able to go up by 10, the most they were in this game. What were you guys able to do to make what do you think you guys were able to do successfully to make a successful last-minute comeback to try to basically almost win the game?
Well, it's 5 minutes on the clock, and we decided to hit the basketball, try and double team as early as we could in the shot clock. We needed to speed the game up. We needed to create some extra possessions for ourselves. And, Clint gets a nice steal. We got about 2 or 3 stops in that stretch, and our guys were able to score. But we were just trying to speed the game up in a variety of ways.
Davide.
Hey, Coach, what do you think is the most important lesson you guys have to learn from this game?
Just execution. We're turning the ball over in bunches and in stretches. I think we had 10 first half turnovers. We had 2, in one sequence at the end of the third quarter, or 2 in back-to-back sequences at the end of the third quarter. Our turnovers are mounting again, and they're costly right now. And so just being able to execute, to be able to get a shot, and being able to execute when they're taking us out of our action, whether it's a blitz in some nights like we've seen or denying Trey in other nights. But I think that's really, how do we execute better versus schemes and coverages that teams are throwing at us.
Chris Kirshner.
When Cam is struggling from the field like he was tonight, what is the message to him? Is it just keep shooting and, hopefully shots will fall, or what is it?
Yeah, the biggest thing is you just got to stay engaged. There's a lot of ways to contribute to the basketball game. He's got a tough matchup with Luka. He's got to find ways to get out in transition. He's got to find ways to make the defense collapse and find other guys, and he's got to continue to shoot with confidence. You really can't tell any perimeter player that's on the court not to shoot the basketball. And so he's got to shoot with confidence. He's got to stay working. But he's got to find ways to contribute, whether it's cutting like he did in the Laker game late, grabbing defensive rebounds and being able to push and find something in transition, or set screens and see if you can get behind the defense for offensive rebounds as well. But you just got to stay engaged, and it's a long process for him.
Jamila.
Hey, Coach, you guys were trying different defenses on Luka, and you went with Solo there towards the end. Did you like what you saw from him?
I thought Solo was great. He's 0 for 2 in 26 minutes, and he's a +10. And so obviously when he was on the court, there was some positive contributions of just being into the basketball, being physical, trying to give us a presence. And I thought he did that.
Sarah.
Season high for Gallo tonight. What did you like out of his performance?
He's coming along. He's still on a 20-minute restriction, which is, hard to manage when you're playing him. And he's productive when he's out there. He's going to get to the free throw line. He's going to space the floor, and he's a high percentage shooter. And so I think the ankle's getting stronger. Hopefully those minutes go up, but he just gives us that other scoring option, especially when they have bigs trying to guard him and he's up the floor and they're trying to play down the floor.
Landon Buford.
Hey, Coach, I just wanted to know, what has Vince Carter over the last 2 years and then also Rondo provided for this team in regards to helping you guys grow?
Just a presence, a voice in the locker room. When you have the film sessions and you have the meetings and you have the execution portions of practice, having a guy out there that's been there, done that can articulate what we're trying to articulate to the guys and give them some of the details that are important. Rondo has been tremendous in doing that. Solo has been tremendous in doing that. Vince was tremendous for us. But all of that matters when you're trying to advance your organization.
It looks like 2 more. First from Andy.
Hi, Lloyd. I wanted to ask you, today both Trey in the first quarter and Clint in the second found themselves in foul trouble. How do you personally go about deciding on that new lineup when, guys in that situation? And given how deep the team is, does it really depend on who is feeling it that night?
I wouldn't say we're real deep right now. We're missing a lot of guys. Obviously Trey picks up his second with about 5 minutes to go, and he normally goes to about the 9 or the 3 minute mark. So naturally, you just get Rondo in there and try and protect Trey from picking up his third so we can play him throughout the second. And same thing with Clint. We know we're going to sub Gallo in for John or Clint. Fouls help us make that decision a little bit easier. And I thought Gallo gave us a great spark when he was in there, especially in that first half.
Sarah.
John actually tied a career high tonight. What stood out to you about his performance?
A little bit of both. With the pressure, I mentioned they were denying Trey and as a weak side helper. And so his ability to get behind the defense, his activity to get behind the defense in the pick and rolls with Kev and just down the floor, some easy lob opportunities in transition. And then he shot the ball well, made a couple threes that were effective for us. He's an efficient scorer. He's over 40% from threes. He's always high percentage in the restricted area. And when they take one defender out, it's easy for him to get some of those baskets that he normally gets.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. That